I was just thinking about it. I was like, I was like, I want to just jump on live and dive into something we don't always talk about, which is scalp health, right? And one of the things that I really struggled with was really finding products to help my scalp, because I feel that a lot of products out there are focusing just on hair health and making the hair feel a certain way, making the hair act a certain way, styling the hair a certain way, holding the hair a certain way. But we actually forget about the scalp, right? So I just want to be real honest and real with you guys. Healthy hair starts at the root, and you know, it just starts at the root. So we have to have our scalp has to be healthy in order for us to really take the hair to the next level. So if your scalp is not happy, right? If your scalp is not happy, what happens? Your curls, your hair would not be either. So let's just break it down. I just really wanted to talk to you guys about some of the ingredients that are amazing for scalp health, but also some of the ingredients that we are very intentional at the Curl Daddy, with the Curl Daddy collection, with the Curl Daddy hair care. And you guys might be familiar with some of these ingredients, and I just want to really talk to you a bit about the ingredients and how that helps the scalp. And that is one thing that we took into consideration when formulating these products, just because we wanted the right percentage, and we are all about promoting hair growth and scalp health. As someone that dealt with scalp issues, that was very important personally to me, to really provide you guys with products that are actually going to promote hair growth and scalp health, and also vegan products that are going to elevate your texture. So the first one is shea butter, and shea butter has been an ingredient that I've been very familiar with. I would think it's one of the main ingredients for moisture. And shea butter is rich in fatty acids, is rich in vitamins. It's very soothing. It helps with flaking. It locks in the hydration for the scalp. Daniel, how are you? Happy Tuesday. What's going on? So it's one of the ingredients that I really, really love to use for scalp health and to keep the hair on point. Think about it like shea butter being like a protective shield for the hair, that keeps your scalp calm and nourished. So let's just think about shea butter. Obviously, one of the things we included shea butter in our shampoo, which is, let me get the sample. I want to show you guys some of the products. We included it in our Clean Me Up shampoo. Obviously, is one of the key ingredients, shea butter. This is our Clean Me Up shampoo by Curl Daddy. And then it's also in our Lay Me Down conditioner. So just to let you guys know, we really love that ingredient. I personally love that ingredient just because it is very moisturizing, but it's also very, very, very beneficial for your scalp. The next ingredient that I love and that we incorporate into a lot of the formulations is aloe vera. Aloe vera has been something I've been around since I lived in the Caribbean. I grew up literally using aloe vera for so many different things, for the skin specifically. But this is your scalp best friend. As you guys know, aloe vera is very lightweight. I love the fact that it's very lightweight, it's very cooling, it's packed with a lot of enzymes that really help. It helps balance the oil production. It calms the irritation for you guys that deal with irritation of the scalp. And it keeps the scalp feeling refreshed, right? If it just feels, it just makes the scalp feel refreshed. So that's this one of the second ingredients. And it gives mad slip, and it nourishes your scalp and your hair. So for example, the shampoo and the Lay Me Down conditioner by Curl Daddy, we wanted aloe vera in there because we wanted you guys to have a very natural vegan slip, right? And then every time I was in the, formulating with our small team, I was like, it needs to have more slip, it needs to have more slip, it needs to have more slip, it needs to have more slip. And I think they got tired of me at some point because they're like, more slip? I'm like, yeah, it needs to have more slip. Especially for us that have really curly hair or really coily hair, we need that slip, right? It helps. If you guys have any questions, please drop the questions on the live. Guys, make sure that if let me know where you guys are from. If you have any questions about hair, scalp, drop the questions on the live. For you guys that are just joining for the first time, my name is Edwin. I'm the founder and formulator at Curl Daddy, and we specialize in plant-based products free of harsh chemicals to promote hair growth and scalp health. The products are safe for color straightening chemically treated hair. And today we're talking about scalp health. We're having a conversation about scalp health and some of the ingredients that we incorporate into the products to really take the scalp, the hair, the skin, the body, but most importantly, are ingredients that are good for the environment. And the last ingredient that I want to talk to you guys about is castor oil. And to be honest with you guys, I am very familiar with castor oil, but I use castor oil. I used to use castor oil on my eyebrows, right? I used to use castor oil on my lashes, believe it or not, and on my under my eyes. I've been into like grooming and beauty natural ingredients for a while. Thanos. Good question. Where are you from, Thanos? Is losing hair 10 to 20 every time you losing hair 10 to 20? You mean 10 to 20 times? Every time you wash your hair normal. Okay, I can relate to this, right? I can relate to this. You're supposed to lose 100. It's normal for you to lose 100 strands of hair per day. If you're noticing that you are losing more, then you have to figure out how to help your hair, your scalp, yourself, right? Because it's obviously your body's telling you something. There's probably some minerals or certain things you need to start eating to help that. Certain hair care you should start incorporating into your routine, because that was my case. I remember the season where I started, but I noticed it right away, right? Because I noticed it right away because I used to see a lot of hair on my bathtub, and that's when I started researching more about ingredients to promote hair growth and scalp health, and really I focused more on scalp health than anything else. But you're supposed to lose 100 strands of hair per day. Your hair's constantly growing. We just don't see it. But I would suggest for you to start incorporating more antioxidants into your diet, more berries, more green tea, water with lemon, no fried food, no soda, none of that stuff. Just to help your hair. Randy Morales, how are you, superstar? Best way to detangle your hair. Okay. Best way to detangle your hair. That's an amazing question. I dealt with detangling issues to the point where I needed to cut knots out of my hair because my hair knots very quickly. And one of the things that we need to understand is that we have to have the right tools to be able to detangle the hair. It's very important to start with a shampoo and a conditioner that has the slip to be able to start your detangling process the minute that you wash your hair, right? So that is kind of like the thing with the Curl Daddy hair care collection that we really paid attention to. Like, we wanted the shampoo, the conditioner to have enough slip in there to be able to make it smooth and easier for you to detangle your hair. And also, when I started the brand, I wanted to create a spray, like a detangling spray. Because what I didn't have a detangling spray when I started my journey. I had to do it with like a very thick conditioner. It got very messy, and I just was like, I wish they had like a spray that I can just spray that was natural, that was like help me with the detangling process. But Randy, the best way to detangle your hair is to start with a good shampoo and conditioner that has a lot of slip to help the process. Um, I usually use my hands to detangle my hair. I think using your hands is the healthiest way to detangle your hair. Or if you have a wide tooth comb to really help you with that process. But I love the Nourish Me Leave-In Conditioner by Curl Daddy because it literally, that's what it does. It's going to detangle and condition. It's a very light spray. But the cool thing about it is that when your hair is wet, you spray this and it actually foams. It starts foaming, and that helps detangle your hair. And then you can kind of like style it with your stylers and go from there. Or just let it be, right? Because this conditions, but this is a very light product, super, super light. Like you can use it as a curl refresher. It does have UV protection to protect from the rays of the sun. So I kind of just, and it's great for all hair textures, safe for color straightening, chemically treated hair. So, and this is, by the way, guys, this product, the 12 ounce is limited edition. We are not going to have that we just created that 12 ounce as a limited edition one. But yeah, Randy, I hope I answered your question. I'm from Bangalore. I normally don't have a hair fall problem. Just now I'm growing it long. Now I'm losing hair every time I wash. Problem is I shower 3 times a day before work, after work, and after gym. Thanos, that's a lot of wash. Listen, you kind of have to monitor and try to figure out how to balance that because we're not supposed to be, it's gonna sound crazy, but we're not supposed to wash 3 times a day. That's a lot of. I hope that you have a very moisturizing body wash because we're not supposed to wash so many times a day. Like that's not really healthy for your skin. And I hope that you're not wetting your hair 3 times a day because that's gonna, maybe that's the problem. If you're doing that, that's not healthy for your hair and your scalp. So I suggest that you try to figure out how to balance that, if that makes sense. Thank you so much for the questions. Any questions, please drop the questions. I love when you guys ask questions because it makes this more interactive. And it's fun to really answer any questions. Another question. How do I keep my curls popping throughout the day? My curls look good in the morning, but like by an hour or two, it's done. All right, Randy. So I think I'm going to answer this in the best possible way, right? Hi, Crystal. How are you? Welcome, welcome. How you been? Long time. Okay, Randy. So I think that the secret to that is number one, moisture is one of the things that really keeps our curls going. And if you have very dry hair and if you have very thick hair, there's certain things you need to do to keep your hair trained, if that makes sense, right? So again, that goes into your shampoo, your conditioner, your styling products. Are you doing a mask every month, right? And like literally putting a bag over or steaming it to really get your hair to cooperate with you, right? Um restoring moisture? Are you sleeping with a satin lined beanie every night, right? Because if you have pillowcases that are cotton or polyester, it's going to suck, or it's going to absorb all the moisture from your hair, right? So when you don't have moisture in your hair and you don't have hydration and moisture, right? Two things you need for your hair: hydration and moisture. The hydration comes from the water, the moisture comes from your products. So the combination of those two things create what your hair needs, and you have to sustain it, right? So if your hair is not trained, it's going to be a bit of a challenge for you. But again, I dealt with this for a while, and I think that is all about figuring out what works for you and what doesn't work for you. But you know, I noticed that my hair got very it started cooperating with me the minute that I started doing like deep treatments, and really leaving them on, steaming my hair at least once a month, doing a protein treatment once every 2 months. Like, these are things that people don't know about their hair. Using plant-based products, obviously sleeping with a beanie, to restore that moisture. And what else I was going to tell you? Applying, even the applying your products makes a difference. Like, are you just applying the product and going? Are you taking the time to actually part your hair and applying it per sections? Because that's also going to affect the performance and the effect of what you're going to see in your hair. If that, I hope that I'm making sense here. My hair is hella dry and hella thick. Okay, so it's dry and thick. So that, oh, right there, you have to, yes, it is. So you have to understand, like, you need to kind of like figure out what works for your hair, since it's dry and you have thick texture. I can't sleep with a beanie because I pull it off on my sleep. I used to be the same way, and my beanie stays on. If you pull it off, maybe you need to get a satin pillowcase, and like that you'll be fine. We don't have pillowcases yet. We just have the beanies. But there's so many brands that have the pillowcases. A satin pillowcase. So maybe you should look into that, Randy. Am I related to Lenny Kravitz? No, I'm not. Cowboy Baby Yoda. It would be cool to be related to Lenny Kravitz. It's so interesting that you're bringing him up. I was just looking at something he posted, and I really got inspired to do something cool for the brand, kind of like with that rock vibe. So interesting that you just mentioned him. That's kind of cool. Any more questions, guys? Do you guys have any more questions? Thank you guys so much for the questions. Randy, thank you so much. Crystal, if you're still here, thank you. Thanos, thank you so much for engaging. I appreciate you. Daniel, if you're still here, thank you so much for engaging. I appreciate you guys for joining. I just really wanted to jump really quickly and talk to you guys about scalp health. It is important to not only take care of your hair, but take care of your scalp, guys. I've seen a lot of young people that are not taking care of their scalp, and they're losing their hair. and they're like in their 20s, and I'm like, what is going on? So obviously it's the hair care is what you're eating, it's, you know, it's so many different factors. But remember that it's important to have the right hair care, and it's important to have, you know, natural, vegan, clean hair care, because that helped me. And that's one of the things that inspired me to start formulating. But it's also important of what you are eating, what you're putting into what you're consuming, right? Because those two things work together. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Cowboy, make sure you check out the brand at curldaddy.com. You probably would love it. But guys, I have to let you guys go. I appreciate you for joining. Thank you so much for you guys that engaged. Thank you guys that subscribed. Um, be safe. Take care. Remember, guys, it's important to love your hair, but most importantly, love yourself. As everything that you apply to yourself, you absorb. Our skin, including your scalp, our skin is the second largest organ in our body, and it's literally like a sponge. It absorbs everything you apply to it. So that's why it's important to start using plant-based products free of harsh chemicals, no parabens, no sulfates, no phthalates, no alcohol. There's so many alcohols out there that are not healthy for our scalp, our hair, our skin, the environment. So I appreciate you guys for joining. Be safe, take care, and remember to love your hair, but most importantly, love yourself, okay? Hasta luego. Bye-bye. Hold on, someone's knocking. Give me 1 second. Thank you, Cowboy. Thank you so much for subscribing. Um, take care of yourself as well. Thank you so much. Remember, guys, check us out at curldaddy.com. I appreciate you guys. Be safe, take care, and remember to, again, love your hair, but most importantly, love yourself, right? Peace.